Ugh, it's so hot in here. Hello, I'm Chris the Frog of Sewer Spewer, and welcome to another edition of my video series where I talk about new releases that have come out of Jojage, or so-called Montreal, in the past month. And in this video, I'll talk about releases that came out in June of 2025. Now, I have about 25 releases to tell you about, but I'm going to try to keep it brief because, as you can see, I'm already sweaty and I can't really crack any windows in this room because that might fuck with the audio. So I'm just going to try to go through these as quickly as possible, and I'll try not to die from heat exhaustion halfway through. First band I'll be talking about is a pop punk band called Rock'n'Roll Télévison, and their fourth album, I believe, called Émission Tridimensionnelle. And these are mostly French songs with two English songs at the end, and they're very much in the vein of Ramones core, very fast, simple, and romantic songs. Next is post-punk band Young Blades and their second album, Wreckage. And I was a huge fan of their last album, but I really like the energy on this one, and it made for a very fun listen. And I feel like it has the makings of a very classic punk record. Next up is new pop punk band Sortie 27 and their debut EP À Toute Vitesse. And they have a very 90s punk sound, which is weird because I'm sure the members weren't even alive during the 90s, so it's kind of interesting how it's been reinterpreted by this new generation of punks. Next is punk band The Leftovers and their final EP, appropriately called The Funeral. And last month, The Leftovers announced that they will be calling it quits. And I'm very sad to see them go, but I'm glad that they left this EP as a parting gift. And one track that really resonates with me is Summer Vacation, just because right now I have to be stuck in a hot warehouse for my job while everybody else is outdoors enjoying the summer. Next up is a big one, oi punk band Béton Armé and their debut album Renaissance, which is out through La Vida es un Mus Discos. And Béton Armé is really putting Montreal on the map because they have gone worldwide. As I'm recording this, they're currently on tour in Europe with Puffer, and they've also toured the US and Mexico. And the songs on this album are so catchy, and I feel like they find new ways to sing whoa in all the choruses. So go check it out and go see them live if you haven't. Next is Rockabilly King Bloodshot Bill and his 18th album called So Fed Up, which is out through Goner Records. And Bloodshot Bill has been around for quite a while, almost 25 years, and he has put out an album almost every single year since then. And with this, he continues with his signature lo-fi, stripped down rock and roll sound. So if you're really into that, then give this a listen. Next, I don't normally include bedroom projects in my releases, but I've been listening to this artist since they emerged a couple years ago, and I really like their sound. They are a black metal project called L'Horreur d'Exister, and recently they put out a new EP called La Fonte, and it's just super atmospheric. I really like the whisper screaming on it. And so far, I'm pretty sure that they're a safe black metal band because they don't seem to have any connections with any sketchy labels or anything of that nature. So I think it is safe to listen to. Next up is trans girl alt rock band Puberty and their new EP, The Nature of Love. And my friend Ashley describes this band as a prom band that plays at the end of a rom-com movie, and I feel that's kind of accurate. And you should go check out their music video for their song Thank You because it's a really funny premise and is very well filmed, and I think you'll enjoy it. Next is a band that I previously mentioned in this video, Puffer, and their debut album Street Hassle, which is out on Static Shock Records. And personally, I think that Puffer are one of the best punk bands coming out of Montreal right now, and that really comes through on this album. And on one song, it features the singer of Béton Armé, Danick Joseph Dicker. And whenever they play that song live, the entire room explodes. So it really needs to be seen to be believed. Coming up is garage rock band Raindog and their debut album C'est pas grave. And there's a lot to like on this record. And I feel like some of the lyrics to some of these songs really stuck with me days after I listened to it. And I was a particular fan of how the piano sounded on this record too. I feel like so many times the piano is kind of drowned out in the background, but it's really, really prominent on this album. Next up is a new death metal band made up of veterans of the hardcore scene here in Montreal called Cold Minded, and their debut EP, Violence Reigns Supreme. And I find this EP super hard-hitting and explosive, and one song features vocals from Samael of the band Feartilizer 1492, who I'll be talking about later on in this video. Next up is punk alt band Psychic Armour and their new EP, Pressure. And to quote Alice Hirsch, this band is best described as gayer Husker Du. So that should give you an idea of what they sound like. But I'm very fascinated by this project because I find it's vastly different from any other band that Sarah Elborn has played in. But it still has a bit of that hardcore edge, but with a lot more sweetness to it. Okay, we're about halfway through now. Next, I'll be talking about a gothic post-punk band called She Came to Quit and their new album, Black Seed Blooming. And I really, really like this album. It has all the elements that I love in death rock, which are ominous baritone vocals with a punchy bass line and that very specific spooky guitar effect. Next, we have technical death metal legends Cryptopsy and their 10th album, An Insatiable Violence, which is out through Season of Mist. And even after all of these years, they are still packing a hard punch, and they are so powerful on this album thanks to the vocals from Matt McGackie and drumming from Flo Mounier, who's probably one of the best drummers in the world right now. Next, we have my friends in the psychedelic desert rock band MOOCH and their 4th album, Kin, which is out through Black Throne Productions. And I've been really, really impressed by MOOCH's output as of lately. In the past 3 years, they've put out an album a year, as well as some EPs here and there. And I really, really like Ben Cornell's vocals on this record, and the other members also contribute vocals on this. But I think it is his spoken word parts that really pull you in and kind of give this more meditative vibe to the album. Then we have young punk band The Snatchers and their debut album, Taz. And they really embrace that snotty attitude of punk rock on this album. There's lots of interludes as well and skits, so it's a lot of fun to listen to. Next up, we have hardcore band Sold Out and their debut EP, Summer Jazz, which is out through Be About It Records. And Sold Out has members of the defunct hardcore band Thrush, and when I saw them a few years ago, their vocalist was Hannah of the band Crosscheck, but I think since then they went on hiatus and had to reemerge with a new singer, who happens to be my homie Cody Dodds from the band Outlier. So that is a real surprise, and I really like the kind of style that he's going with on this EP. And it was recorded by Grayson Carpenter of the band Bruiserweight, and he also features on a song as well. Next up is a band that I previously mentioned in this video, Indigenous death grind band Feartilizer 1492, and their debut EP, Wapek Mentu, which means white devil in the Mi'kmaq language. and the cover art features a rotting Christopher Columbus with land back carved in his forehead. So as you imagine, this band politically is super pissed off in its lyrics and overall sound. And this EP also has samples from indigenous activists that I find super powerful. And I also just love Samael's animalistic vocals on this record. I think he has a great voice, and I'm super happy that he has this project where he can express himself and explore his cultural identity. After that, we have indie alt-rock band Resonance and their debut EP, Why Should I? And I really like how the guitars sound on this EP, and the singer's vocals just have a lot of vulnerability to it. So if that's the kind of thing you like, then check it out. After that is new screamo band La Fatigue and their 3-song demo, which is the perfect thing to listen to if you want to cry in French. Next, we have death metal band Serpent and their new EP, Retaliate, which is out through Transcending Obscurity Records. And Serpent blend black metal, thrash, and a bit of hardcore and punk, but it's really the last track on this EP that I find super interesting because it is such an experience, and it goes a bit spacey at times too, so go check out that song. Coming up, we have anarcho-punk band Tenaz and their debut EP, Existencia Individual, which has songs in both English and in Spanish, and overall is just a really great punk record. Then we have emo post-hardcore band We Were Mermaids and their debut EP, Hardcore Songs for Lovers. And when I first listened to this, I wasn't convinced by the first track because I found it a bit mellow, but then they brought in the screaming on the rest of the tracks, and that's when I really jumped on board. Next is grindcore band Dying of Thirst and their new self-titled EP. And I listened to the band's demo last year, but I think in that time they have really evolved and improved their sound. And this EP doesn't overstay its welcome. It's very short, but I think it's really great, and the samples on it are great, and it's really worth a listen. Speaking of which, I'm currently dying of thirst right now, but luckily we are at the last band on this list from yet another grindcore death metal band. There has been a lot this past month, but this one is Nervous Impulse and their new EP, Something to Fuck You Up. And it's been a while since they last released anything. I think it's been almost 6 years. And on this, they have a variety of pig squeals and death growls. And they also have a cover from the Czech grindcore band Pigsty. Okay, we're at the end of the video, and thank God because I'm covered in sweat and it feels like my brain is melting. But if you want to hear music from some of these bands that I talked about, then I made a playlist on YouTube of some of these artists. I'm trying to move away from using Spotify from now on because not only are the owners of Spotify ripping off artists, but they are also investing in AI military technology and feeding into the war machine, so I don't want to help that. So for now, I'm doing YouTube exclusive playlists, and some of these bands are not on YouTube though. They're only on Bandcamp, so I'm looking into doing playlists on Bandcamp, but they're still trying to figure out how to offer that feature. They still need to work out the bugs with that. And also that involves buying the music, which I don't have a lot of money for. But if you want to give me money, then go to patreon.com/sewerspewer. And for only $2 a month, you can get access to my master list of future Montreal shows and a release tracker where I keep track of all the releases coming out of Montreal. So that's what I was reading off on this video. So if you want to see what releases I'll be talking about in the future, then go subscribe to the Patreon, and all the money that you'll be giving to me I will be reinvesting into the scene, paying for music for weekly playlists that I'll be doing. And also, if you haven't yet, go follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and on Facebook. And there I post listings of shows happening every week. I do videos of all the flyers, and I offer a bunch of other cool services like these monthly videos. So go check me out, go follow me. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to go stand in an air-conditioned room right now and try to get back to feeling normal temperature. But thank you so much for watching and getting this far in the video. And until next month, ribbit, ribbit.